It is Wednesday night on April 25th, and I'm going to be going to bed early because I'm seeing Infinity War tomorrow night. I've been thinking a lot about what I want to expect from this movie because, Marvel has been a mixed bag for me lately in terms of how it represents the women in its franchise. If you saw my Rambles video, you know that I loved Black Panther. I loved especially what it did with its female characters. But outside of that, Marvel has been slowly creating an archetype, sort of halfway between a manic pixie dream girl and a token action chick, like you'd see in, any stereotypical superhero movie. You had Black Widow, and then you had Gamora, and now you have Valkyrie, and I mean, these are all good characters. The actresses who play them are fantastic, but I feel like Marvel's kind of decided that that's the only interpretation of a strong female character that they really want to be using in most of their movies. Like this embittered warrior badass, which is nice and all, but I mean, it kind of makes me miss Pepper and Jane and Betty Ross. Yeah, I remember Betty Ross. I still care about Betty Ross. You got me. I hope the Russos do right by not necessarily the comics. I can't read all the comics. I can't understand all the comics because I have to have room in my head for, Star Wars stuff too. When I do the afterthoughts, I'm gonna try my best to keep it spoiler-free at first. So this is more like my predictions right now. For like who's probably going to die, my money is on Tony. I feel like they need to force themselves to remove the crutch of Robert Downey Jr. He's a great actor and he's basically become one with Tony at this point, but as long as he's around, I feel like the MCU can't fully emerge as anything other than a vehicle for him. He's hijacked 2 Phase 3 movies at this point, Civil War and Homecoming, and Civil War I got because he had to have 2 sides to Civil War, but he didn't need to be in Homecoming as much as he was. It was distracting at points. That was time, that could have been spent with MJ or Aunt May or Liz. So I think Tony's gonna be killed off. I think Steve, well, what I want to happen for Steve is I want the serum to be, removed from him so that he can, be a normal person and age and die. Or do that thing. I vaguely understand what's going on in the comics right now with, Cap, Falcon. That'd be cool. It'd be cool to have Black Captain America, although, given contract stuff, that's probably gonna be Sebastian Stan. I have every feeling in my gut that this is gonna be the movie where Bucky takes over for Steve as Captain America. I don't think Loki's going to survive. Okay, he might, survive, but I feel like this will probably be his last movie, because Tom Hiddleston, I think he wants to do other stuff. I mean, I know he loves playing Loki, but he has other things he could be doing, like that Kong franchise that's supposed to be happening. Is that still happening? I don't know. But, yeah, so I think Loki's gonna be out. He'll probably be given a heroic sacrifice / not death. Thor... In the months since Ragnarok, I've had time to think about it, and I'm very, very disappointed that the post-credits scene had an opening for, Jane to show up in Norway where the Mjolnir pieces still were, and, they reform, and then we get Goddess of Thunder, and I'm going to make a separate video about that, because that would be awesome. I have all these ideas buzzing around in my head, and I love them, and yeah. But yeah, I think Thor's going to sort of, bow out, and maybe we'll get Asgardia floating over Oklahoma, like in the comics. The only comics that I follow are the Thor comics and a little bit the Young Avengers, and that's mostly from reading wikis and listening to my friends talk about it. I don't think they're going to kill off Hawkeye, just because I feel so mean for saying this, but I think Hawkeye's just not important enough on their radar to kill, but too beloved to kill as well. It's weird. Vision, I feel like they're gonna keep him around because there's been this behind the scenes stuff, like they had a casting call for twin boys for a scene in Avengers Infinity War, and I mean, I have my fingers crossed that is Billy and Tommy, that this is either a vision or a future scene, a vision, either like a dream sequence or a future flash forward where the Scarlet Witch and Vision have their babies, and it's foreshadowing to the Young Avengers, and that means that, we'd be getting Hulkling and Hawkeye the Second and Patriot. Oh my god, I would love to see Patriot. I'd love to see the Young Avengers in general, and that would actually be a way to get around letting Tom Hiddleston go, but keeping Loki. You can go kid/teen Loki. He's hot. A good chunk of the movie is going to be taking place in Wakanda, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy all of that. I'm going to enjoy all of that a lot. Anything with Shuri is going to make me happy. Honestly, I hope that they handle, Shuri meeting Bruce Banner well, because there's been this unfortunate trend on Tumblr of Shuri helps out ex-white science fave, and people have rightly pointed out that's kind of problematic. The comment section's going to eat me alive for saying that, but it is. It is. Shuri does not exist to advance white people's narratives. She has her own narrative, and she is going to be awesome at it. Whether or not she becomes the Black Panther someday. Please let her become the Black Panther someday. I mean, I know, keep Chadwick Boseman for as long as you can, but, let Shuri get in on the action too. Oh, could we have White Tiger show up too? I really liked the Ultimate Spider-Man series, or at least I liked the supporting characters. I mean, getting sidetracked. Spider-Man. Tom Holland is adorable, and so he's probably going to be awesome no matter what, but yeah. I'm not looking forward to the Doctor Strange bits. I reached maximum tolerance of Benedict Cumberbatch in media, 2 years ago. I'm so tired of him, guys. He's a good actor, but enough. I'm interested to see where they go with the Guardians of the Galaxy, because this is kind of special. This is their first time having the Guardians not be, written by James Gunn. This is sort of to see whether they can stand on their own without, arguably, their auteur, the creator of their little individual sub-cinematic universe, because they've been very well contained away from everybody else till now. I mean, I'm sure it'll work out. I'm just curious as to how. Thanos is probably going to disappoint me just because I've kind of accepted the fact that Marvel villains are a little disappointing if they don't have an emotional connection that taps into something real, and Thanos isn't gonna do that because he's so out there, man. And I'm not just saying that as someone who has mostly encountered Thanos through fan fiction. That we're not going to talk about the fan fiction. I don't like thinking about it. I'm curious to see how they're going to reconcile the Black Widow Hulk thing, because that really frustrated me in Age of Ultron for multiple reasons. I mean, it's the Russos, so hopefully they'll be okay with it. I'm kind of hopeful that, Sharon Carter will get a mention, because she is still technically Steve's very, very, very long distance girlfriend. I don't know what the rules are when you're technically a fugitive. But, yeah, they were They were an item in Civil War, and if you don't like that, too bad. It's canon, okay? It's canon, and, you know, he was flirting with her well before Peggy died, so it's not like she swooped in at her great-aunt's funeral, and I'm not... Much as I want it to, I don't expect them to mention Jane Foster at all. Marvel has pretty clearly broken up with Natalie Portman and told everybody that she's crazy, despite that. Nope. Not getting into it. Not getting into it. I'm sure that I'll enjoy watching this. I hope it's not an experience like The Last Jedi, where I liked it the first time and then every time afterwards I'm like, this isn't as good as I remember. Alright. See you on the other side. See, this is why I'm not Captain America. I can't even get the hood on right. I thought I could do this spoiler-free. I can't. I can say that it's well acted, pretty well written. The visual effects are spotty in a couple of places. Like, you can tell sometimes when the actors are working on green screens. And there's some tonal problems because, you know, they're trying to inject the usual Marvel humor, and the stakes are incredibly high this time around, and that makes for dissonance. I genuinely don't know how to feel right now. I don't. So, this will actually be video 1 of 2, because I'm going to start going on about spoilers.